Welcome. Give people a minute to come. Just spend this few seconds acknowledging all the people, all the animals, plants, fish, bacteria and virus, rocks. All of us are here. Bring the people here consciously. And the people that aren't here consciously are still here. Today, we're going to talk about compassion. And we're going to experience compassion in a conscious way. This whole, whatever it ends up being, 45 minutes, 1 hour, an hour and 15 minutes, however long we're here together. I'm going to repeat this for people as they filter in. This moment that we share in this way, right now, at this time, feel the space. Feel the space both inside and around. There's a space of emptiness, and yet it's full. It's empty because it's vast and limitless, and it's boundless. There's no interference. In that way, it's empty and open. In another way, it's full of consciousness. If you need to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. That might help. To have this feeling. First and foremost, let's be receptive. Let's be receptive and open to a new and a different way, or perhaps a familiar way, but a way that we don't often contact or we don't contact enough, to a way of feeling, being, and awareness, consciousness, that's just beyond this little everyday thing that worries and frets upon the stage, struts and frets upon the stage, a brief moment. There is this space inside and around us, and it's a holy space, and it's always there. Holy meaning sacred. Let's be receptive and open. Let's feel the sacredness of being, both of being seemingly separate consciousness and of being this group consciousness we're sharing now, but the group consciousness that we always are a part of, the group being the infinite set of all that have ever been and that are and that ever will be. This moment, this time we are together now, is a conscious meditation on being love. Today on being compassion. Compassion, that's what we're going to focus on today. But from the beginning, we're not going to forget for one moment the infinite space that contains and yet is contained by our physical selves. Feel the energetic, please, the receptivity, be open. There is something so magnificently large and big that I am part of. I am the voice that is speaking. I am the ears that are hearing. To believe that anything of value comes from someone else is a mistake. Anything of value that may seem to come from someone else is just that moment in time when your heart and your travels and your place through this magnificent adventure that I am on, is ready to hear this coming from my own heart. There is only one heart. There is only one voice. Sometimes it comes through this voice, this mouth. Sometimes it comes through another mouth. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Let's be open to the voice that comes from our heart and enters into our ears at this moment. And at this moment, that voice from there's only one master, and that master is I, meaning the voice that speaks and the ears that hear. And try to feel that. Allow that openness. Allow that openness to simply be. And that very gentle joy of being at home. Being at home. And there being no other, no enemy, no one to fight, nothing to struggle against. All that will take care of itself when we establish ourselves as much as possible in this space. So what we're going to do for the next 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, I don't know how long, is we're going to maintain an idea, a presence. Forget the idea, the wrong word. We're going to maintain the experience of this presence, of this openness, of this energetic, it's omnipresent flow. It's light that has no source and yet that is everywhere. It's absolute open consciousness. And I feel it. I am the ears that hear. I am the voice that comes from my own heart. Let us not resist the love and the voice and the truth that comes from the one heart. Today the heart is going to talk to us about compassion. 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 Compassion is love in motion. Simply that. It has a general idea and feeling of an empathetic, meaning feeling someone else's pain and wanting to, like a mother with a little baby that's crying, you just want to take that suffering and hold it to your breast and hold it so gently but so tight so that the crying just melts away and starts to just transforms into a gentle, open smile and laughter. We want to take the suffering of the world, of ourselves. Let's not forget the first place for compassion is the place that's here. Compassion flows from a being that is in a state of compassion. And if we don't have compassion for the center of this seemingly separate consciousness, then there's no real compassion for any other beings. Compassion. Don't hold a grudge. Don't blame yourself. It's just an accident. It's a mistake. Just learn from it. We've all done things we shouldn't have done. And we learn from them, and we learn not to do them again. Compassion for the self. I see the suffering and the pain and the errors and the hurt that have come into and emanated from this being. And I just hold this being to the greater being, to the heart of love. And I love myself, not the little personal self that's wrapped up in all the petty goals. I love myself because I am, we're going to get into what I am. Look, this is the little self. This is the big self. I love myself. If I'm stuck in love for this, I've lost context of who I am and what it means to have love for, and therefore compassion. I have compassion for this because it's part of this. And because I have compassion for this, and 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 for that, and for this, and for everything. There is only compassion. We're going to reach a state of pure compassion. We're also going to see how the surface, did you see the thing that we created? It was two hands with water pouring in and flowing, overflowing water, the waters of kindness, the waters of compassion. Can't you just taste the waters of kindness dripping from your soul? Aren't those the waves of compassion bashing down the walls of bigotry? Aren't all of us children swimming for the love through the pain and fear? River of tears. Can't we just meet in the water like babies, laughing innocently? Love me a river, oh my brothers and sisters. One world, one heart, one soul, one river flows. One river flows. Can't you just taste the waters of kindness? Compassion, compassion, compassion. When we feel this need to ameliorate, to hold the suffering of ourselves and of the world to the heart of love, to the breast, the mother's breast that we all hold, the father's heart that we hold, and hold this suffering until it just melts into openness, peace, and joy. When we see this suffering, it's a recognition. The suffering. Why do we feel that need? If we don't feel it, there's two things. On the material world, in the physical world that we live in, there's compassion, where we have the empathetic desire to solve and ameliorate and help, and love and kindness. And we have the flip side, which is narcissism and self-centeredness and this lostness. Narcissism. I believe that this is the only thing, this thing. Let's call him Anthony. Let's call her Joan. Let's call him Peter. Let's call her Bill. Him Bill. Whatever their names are, our names are. This. When this believes that this is everything, what happens in the body when this skin cells or this bone cells start to believe that they are everything? What happens is inflammation. Now, inflammation is a healthy response to stress, but chronic inflammation is the beginning of all chronic disease. So this thing, because it's stressed out, starts to inflame. Then it starts to cause a chronic disease state. Let's call it cancer. And then it starts to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger until it tries to destroy the organism, tries to spread into the organism and grow out of control because it's lost context. This is finger identity. It is not entire identity. This is Anthony, John, Joanne, Bill identities. It is not compassion identity. This identity has no compassion. It's thinking, I got to survive. I am the finger. I am the little finger. That's what it's thinking. I am the Anthony. I am the this. Lost. Compassion is when this understands, look at the strength that this has. Look at this strength. 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 Then this is mighty, right? Because it's not just stuck and lost in this. And then it has compassion. Compassion is the understanding that if this is sick, this is not healthy. Because look, I broke this finger here, running up the stairs, not paying attention, right? I fell going up the stairs, broke the finger. Now this finger is weak. It'll never be as strong. The whole hand is not as strong now. It's pretty, but understand, when this is weak, this is not as strong as it was. And then this has less capacity than it had. And this has less capacity. Every part, as my friend says, the puzzle. So it's always identity, right? It's what we identify as self and other. As soon as there's other, we've limited compassion. If the tiger is still part of the self, then I haven't limited compassion for the tiger. Do I bring the tiger into my house? I don't. It's not appropriate. Doesn't mean there's not compassion. And compassion in the real world is, it's everything. Compassion is love in action. I'm going to repeat what I said at the beginning, at the beginning of this whole gathering that we have here, people that have come in a little bit later. There's a space in the body and a space outside of the body. And right now those spaces are not separate or in any way delineated. The voice that's coming from here is coming from here. The ears that are listening are the voice that's speaking. We are in a sacred space, meaning that right now we are in the process and in healing. We are in healing right now. This is the energy of the larger self, which is all of the people that are here, all of the people that are not consciously here, all of the life on earth, all of the life that may exist anywhere in the universe, all of the things, everything is conspiring to heal each individual cell that is this body that's listening, the body that's speaking. The body that's speaking is the body. We are sharing one body. The only truth that is arriving, that is coming, is a truth that is coming from my heart. Whose heart? My heart. Who am I? I am whoever is listening. I am my own master. There is nobody on the internet, there's nobody in the book, there's nobody in anywhere that is telling me anything that I am not born to know, that is not coming from my own internal self. What we're doing is we're clearing away the cobwebs and the veils so that I am aware of my magnificence. My magnificence is I am a cell in the body of God. Forgive the word God if you don't like the word God. I'm a body in the cell of divine nature. I am the cell in the bottle. It doesn't matter. I am one spark in the infinite flame, a ray of the divine central sun, but still possessing all of its qualities. There's no wisdom and no beauty that doesn't flow. Right now, I am receptive to the greater self that I am. I allow it to flow into me. Okay, that's what we're here for. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about compassion. So, compassion being love in action, being the recognition that, compassion has the idea in it that we see suffering, we want to heal and bring the suffering to our breasts and heal it and make it whole. So the suffering evaporates into the sunshine of smiles and gentle joy and laughter. Now that's the flip side of that, is the recognition that there's a magnificence in every seemingly separate being, a magnificence. Spend a little bit of time in humility with any flower. That's easy. With something that you find ugly. What do you find ugly? An ant, a spider, a possum, anything. Spend time with and really lose the personal likes and dislikes about it. Take a look at any insect and just watch. If you can watch it up close, or even on a nature show where they've got these amazing cameras, the unbelievable, it can't be understood. It can only be felt, finally. And not even felt emotionally, felt as an extension of my greater being. The magnificence of this. How does this do this? We understand how to use it. We don't understand how it's done. We know nothing. Because this isn't the tool. The tool is this. And so compassion is the clear understanding, the recognition of the simple truth that there is an unfathomable, deep beyond any comprehension, beauty to all that is. And whenever there's distress, the tree being cut down, The lion chasing the gazelle, it catches the gazelle. We feel compassion for the gazelle. It's being eaten alive. The lion doesn't catch the gazelle. We feel compassion for the lion. It's hungry. Compassion for everything. I feel guilty. Compassion for that. Understanding that it's just an error. There's nothing that can't be brought to the heart of love and healed. There's no error so great that it can't be brought to the heart of love and healed. Now, many things, especially humans, will resist being brought to the heart of love. And that's, as humans, we have this divine or magnificent or unique, animals have some, but we have incredible ability to decide yes or no. Yes, I will surrender to the voice that I hear right now, that is bringing only love from my own heart to my own ears. It may seem to come through some guy on the internet, but that's not what's really happening. Come on, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. The guy on the internet's just some other guy, just receiving the same thing I'm receiving. We're all just receiving the same thing. And we're choosing to surrender to the heart of love, to be compassionate to ourselves. And in the act and the surrender and the openness to that great big self that I am, that is speaking and hearing right now, that is generating from the heart of its being, of its love, that thing is all-inclusive and magnificent. And it is divine, or it is perfect. So I am surrendering to this, to the heart of love. And in that surrender, I feel my heart and my own light. First I feel joy and I feel comfortable in myself, which is not how I always feel. And I feel like I have purpose and like I'm at home. I know we are sharing something. We are now part of something. This is a prayer. That's all we're doing. Or a meditation, if you prefer that. It doesn't matter, just word. This is a divine space of healing, of energetics. I accept the energy of my own heart. I'm allowing it to heal me. It's the compassion that I have for myself. And this compassion for myself extends to all other parts of myself. Because as I shine with compassion, it just radiates to every other cell, meaning every other seemingly separate part of this one divine, one connected, one cosmic, perfect body. Compassion. Compassion. So, this moment here is the moment that we are actually in the process of allowing the divine heart of love to heal me, the seemingly separate me and the greater me, because the merging of the two is the invitation to the greater and absolutely sped up, accelerated, perfect healing. There is nothing that can't be perfect about this. I am designed for perfection. My physical body will heal itself, my emotional body will heal itself, my psychological body will heal itself, and my spiritual body will heal itself, as long as I allow it the space and the connection with that unified central heart that is all to be uninterrupted, which is what I am doing now, because I am the voice and the heart and the ears that generate, speak, and listen the truth. The truth is love. All other truths are relative. Hot, cold, big, that's the world, that's the physical world. We are contacting the invisible world where there is no opposite. And the invisible world is pure healing, pure light, pure perfection, and pure compassion. Compassion is the need to bring all suffering to the heart and heal it. It's also recognition of the unbelievable splendor and glory and grandeur of all of life, that it is healing me as I heal it, because there is only one connected being of healing and compassion. There's a reason that we had for the I guess it's an advertisement for this event. Hands holding water. Holding water. The water's pouring in, the water just overflowing. The waters of compassion. There's an open secret. You know this, I know this, but we're going to put it into words and bring it out. And in bringing it out, we're going to make it accessible to our everyday lives. The open secret, which we've kept from ourselves most of our lives, is that underlying all experience in the physical world, cause, effect, up, down, excitement, comfort, fear, pain, bum, bum. Underlying all of these waves, water, underlying all of these waves and the storms of life. Sometimes it's sunny and sometimes it's storming and we're terrified and we're cold. Sometimes we're just lying there and it's just gentle breeze and there's enough clouds so we're not burnt, but the sun is just warm. And then the weather changes and our mood changes and how we feel changes. Up and down. Underneath these waves and these opposites and these actions and reactions of everyday life, the physical world, survival, food, then we look for too much food and it's gluttony. Clothing, then we look to adorn ourselves and attract attention. A little bit, but too much. We want fame, we want attention, we want likes, we want clicks. Shelter, we get sick about it and we want 5 houses in 5 places and we want houses that are just full of stuff we don't need, that just, the house owns us. The stuff owns us. We're afraid we're going to lose it. Free time turns into sloth and laziness and a desire to just have others do things, not be independent. Security turns into domination, desire to control things that we shouldn't have no business controlling, that we need to surrender to rather than control. These everyday things that bring us up and down, and keep us running like rats on a wheel. And we're nervous and we're anxious, and let's be honest, our lives are not stable and gently joyful and peaceful, and we don't sleep the way we should. And there's a bunch of habits that we have that we want to break, that we haven't broken. Busy minds that torture us or that don't let us give us peace. Underneath this, here's the open secret. And you know it. I know it. But we don't know it enough, and we're going to put it into words. Underneath the waves of every day, up and down, up and down, up and down, and the obsession, the self-idolatry, how much of my life, the voice that's speaking, the ears that hear, how much of my life, I'm speaking to myself now, is spent thinking about myself? How many of the statements in my head are what I want, what I don't want, what I like, what I don't like, how this affects me? Even when we have opinions about things that aren't us, it's all about how I feel about it. Oh yeah, that hurts me so much. Well, that's not compassion. That's egotism. That's narcissism. Dressed, that's an interesting thing. Every cardinal virtue, I don't know if this is what the church calls a cardinal virtue, I don't know. What I'm calling a cardinal virtue is something without opposite. True love. There's no opposite. The quality of love, the invisible quality of compassion, the invisible quality of kindness, which all have physical manifestations. If I'm in a state of compassion, all my acts will be compassionate, obviously. But it's the state of compassion, these cardinal virtues, these cardinal qualities that have no opposites. These things all have counterfeits. They have fakes. They have fake things in the physical world that pretend to be compassion, which is what we're talking about. How many times do I hear others, seemingly others, or do I hear myself say, Oh, I can't watch that. It hurts me so much. That's fake compassion. That person that's suffering, that animal that's suffering on the TV or on the street, that's not about how much it hurts me. That's narcissism. That's this telling this how compassionate it is. It's fake. It's fake. And I'm hurting myself by pretending that that's compassion. Compassion is simply, come to me, my love. Come to my heart. I will heal you. That's what compassion is. That's what compassion is. It's not about how I feel about it. Although I will have feelings about it, but that's not what compassion is. Beware of fake compassion. Back to the secret. We're on the waves. We're on the waves of everyday up and down. The waves that were on the up and down, remember the ad that we created with the compassion being the waters of compassion overflowing from open hands. On the surface of the up and down and the suffering and the joy and the suffering and the excitement, the happiness and the down, the pain and the fear and the getting and the not getting, is a depth. And the deeper one goes, the quieter it gets. Underneath all of this noise, always, is an ocean of what we're now going to call compassion. We could call it love or kindness or oneness. Remember, I am praying. I am meditating. I am contacting the sourceless source of all that is, be it called divine or be it called nature or whatever we call it. That is what I am doing now in this time and space with my brothers and sisters and these people all on the internet together. My heart is speaking through my voice, speaking to my ears. There's only one group voice, only one group, that's the dog, only one group voice, only one group ear, only one group heart. And that's just true. And that is telling me to open myself to the healing and the energy that is now flowing and healing me, the separate me that's hearing this. Within this prayer, within this meditation, within this openness, within this receptivity, I am now understanding that underneath the busy excitement and the waves of the up and down and the storms and the sun and the yes and the no and I got it and I didn't get it and I'm frustrated and I'm excited, underneath that is quieter and quieter. On the top, look at the ocean. On the top, there's sometimes it's calm and sometimes it's stormy and there's these big waves, even the 50-foot waves crashing and the lightning and the thunder and my boat. I am on the boat, right? That my life, my physical life is a little boat in the ocean. And I'm laying there and a coconut fell off the tree and just everything is just perfect. I'm laying there, and then it starts to rain a little bit, and then the storm whips up, and then the waves are coming, and they're crashing in my boat, and I think I'm not going to make it, and I'm cold, and I'm holding on to the mast, and I think I'm not going to make it, and I'm terrified, and then it starts to calm down a little bit, and I'm like, oh, and then the sun breaks through, and then there's like a rainbow. That's the surface. That's where I live my life. On the physical, but that's because my consciousness is the boat consciousness, is the surface consciousness. Let me expand my consciousness. Let me allow my consciousness to just sink gently below the waves, below the weather. Go down 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet. Let's do this. Let's do this. We're all adults here. Remember, prayer space, divine space, sacred space, sharing space, healing space. We're all adults. What we're going to do is carefully and gently, we're going to create a little storm for ourselves. What is it that happened to me today or in the last 2 or 3 days that was stormy? In my little physical boat of day to day, was it traffic? Was it my sister? Was it my son? Was it my husband? Was it my job? Was it economics? Was it my health? Was it something about my appearance? Something about getting older? Something about death? Something about fear of the future? Some trauma of the past? Something I didn't do right? Bring a few of these feelings up and feel them. Still in sacred space, still in prayer space. In prayer space, in sacred space, divine space, healing space, we bring up trauma. We bring up things that, it's not just all puppies and unicorns and rainbows. It's also the reality of what it is that we need to clean. We need to clean ourselves and expand our consciousness through. So here we are. We're in the boat. Feel it rocking? Can you feel the boat rocking? Don't rock it too hard, but feel like that discomfort. Whatever it was we felt in the last day or two, 3 days, maybe a week, whatever it was, something or things. Okay, so there it is. The boat's rocking. This is our everyday lives. This is the somewhat stormy part of our everyday lives. Kind of stormy, kind of stormy. Okay, now, picture ourselves in a boat. We're in a boat, and the boat is in a storm. The storm is these feelings. It is this experience. It is this experience. And the water that we're on is energetic water. Energetic water. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to just let go of the boat. I know it's terrifying to let go of the boat, because the boat is all these habits and fears. We cling to fear like they're going to keep like the fears will keep us alive. It's superstition. If I'm afraid, if I'm worried, maybe it won't happen. This habit, I know it's not good for me, but it's all I know. It's going to kill this time. I'm going to turn on the TV, whatever it is. Let go of the boat. Now just the water. Just sink into the water. It's stormy. Stop swimming. Just give up. You're not going to drown. These are energetic waters. We're going sinking now. We're under the water. The storm is above us. All those feelings are now no longer in the center of us. They're kind of floating above us. Sink down deeper. Let's go down another 30 feet. It's getting very still now. We're in the stiller, quite a bit, relatively still. There are some currents, but they're gentle. The water's a perfect temperature here. And we can still kind of feel, and we're aware of the kind of storms above us. All the storms of the world are there too. All the things of the things that have been happening in the world the past few days. My God, and just in general, that happen all the time that we're not aware of because it's not in our immediate world. But there's so much. It's not immediate anymore. Sink down deeper. The deeper we go, the lighter it gets. This is like an inverse. It's like we breathe easier the deeper it gets, and there's more light, and there's more space. And now we're so far down, so deep into the waters, that there's nothing but calmness. We've lost contact with the stormy day-to-day. Keep going down. It's an infinite depth. Keep going down, deeper and deeper. It's more and more light, more and more space, and no sound. No cacophony of clashing things, no desires. We're deep into the waters of compassion now. The waters of compassion. And deep in the waters of compassion, the depths of the waters of compassion is this open light where there is no suffering. It's a compassion so deep that everything is here and everything is healed. It's a compassion so still, sacred, open space, with no separation, only the energetics. I am receptive to, and I emanate that which I receive, that which I am, which is compassion, that is so pure, brilliant, and all-pervasive. It turns into love. There's nothing left to heal. because pure compassion is pure love, and all the suffering has been brought to the breast of love and healed and made joyful. And any time a thought comes to me that's discordant, a feeling that is not of at least gentle joy or bliss perhaps, or kindness, or creativity, or beauty, or compassion, it just melts as my awareness encompasses it, because my awareness is simple, all-encompassing compassion, which is simple, all-encompassing love. And I am fully receptive. I am fully receptive. I am fully receptive to the heart of my own love. I am fully brilliant. I am fully brilliant. I am brilliant and receptive, giving and taking as an equal and immediate and identical expression of who I am. I am perfection. I am perfect, open light. I am in the depths of compassion, and at the center of the depths of compassion is the love that knows no suffering because it is fully healed. And again, any thoughts and feelings that are not in accordance with this simply melt. They don't exist. Darkness does not exist when the light is brilliant. We don't fight with darkness, we simply shine. We simply shine. We are light. We am. I are. You am. I are. There only is. We only are. I am one voice. I am one heart. I am one love. I am one set of ears. I am one being, and my being is perfection. I radiate and receive what I am. Always. Because there is only being. And all that I need to do when I return to quote unquote normal consciousness will flow automatically from this place here. I will know what to do because this magnificent depths of love, expressed as compassion, expressed as kindness, expressed as creativity, as beauty, as truth, honesty, it will happen automatically. I, the little self that I will return to, need not worry or fret or strut at all. Simply enjoy, radiate and receive. I am receptive. I am brilliant. It is one state of my being. To give is to receive. To receive is to give. The cardinal virtue of compassion is the cardinal virtue of love. I am healed. Why am I healed? Because I am perfect. There never was a disease. There never was a stress. There never was a fear. It's just a whole series of ideas and confusions. It's a storm that's millions and millions of miles away, and it's a detail. And when I return to that storm, I return to it with this center, a center that cannot be shaken because it is absolutely stable. There's one I. I'm healed. And I am grateful. What am I grateful for? I am not grateful for things. I am not grateful for people. I am not grateful for feelings. I am grateful because I am. And all the things that I am manifests. Of course, I am grateful for them, including the people, the things, the difficulties. I am grateful for the difficulties. I am grateful for everything because I am gratitude incarnate. To be grateful, fully grateful, is to understand the value of what it is that I am. I am grateful because I am brilliantly valuable. And I include every body, many different bodies, many different expressions, many different selves. I am all of this. And I am fully healed. And in being fully healed, I heal every being, seemingly separate body, every body, tree, bacteria, animal, person, crystal, rock, thought, feeling. Sacred space. Okay. Let's come back gently and slowly. We can maintain that sacred space. Finding it hard to leave that space. Do we want to leave it, or should we stay here for a bit? Okay. Body, embodied in the body. So, I would encourage people who've been here through this whole thing, when we get into these very deep states, when we come back to normal life, often we don't have our everyday heads about us. So re-enter slowly. Don't go using knives, driving your car until you feel back into an everyday state of mind, more or less. Because, you can trip over things and stuff. It's easy to be kind of spacey. So take the time to come back to a more regular frame of mind before doing anything that involves things that might be dangerous to you. So this is what we've discovered. We knew it already, but we've deepened it. Some of us, maybe it's coming to our consciousness for the first time. Under the waves of everyday life is an infinite ocean of calm compassion. And when I feel angry, for example, reactive, someone did something in traffic, in a line, my spouse, my kid, my dad, my dog, my economic situation, whatever these combinations, whenever that happens, cultivate the connection to the depths that are underneath that reaction. This part we don't worry about because we're excited and we're comfortable, right? That's also something we need to start thinking about. Just because I got something that I like to eat or something worked out the way I wanted to and they're up, doesn't mean I should stop doing my work. Because these things that are up, they're not, in a lot of ways, they're not as valuable as the things that are down. The things that are down motivate us to do this work that we're doing and contact this depth. When everything's working out for us, look at people that are very successful. They eventually just end up taking piles of drugs and or committing suicide, whatever it is they have to do, because they're not ready to ever take this and work with it. And so we can work with this too. Most of this that we experience in our lives is no more valuable than this. It's less useful because we're not motivated, but it's all very empty. You get the car, you get the girl, you get the boy, You get the thing that you want. You get the position you want. You get the vacation you want. Whatever it is that you get, does it take you to where we just went? Does it give you anything close to that? There's no chance. What we just contacted has no downside. It will only raise your vibration. It will only raise everything inside of you and around you. There will be no downside. You will feel this happening still, but it'll be less intense as you do more of that contacting with this depth, this deep beauty. This will become less up and less down, become more like this, and it will also raise and become quieter until you're actually flying above the clouds and the storm is below you. You're both in the depths and the quiet of the compassion, and you're above the storm, so you're seeing the storm, but it's not personal anymore. And you have the connection to the depths of the ocean of compassion, which is love. You're not in the storm anymore. You're not doing this. You have a stability. You're flying above it, yet connected to the depths. So to have the stress, the reaction, something happens. And instead of reacting like this, I stop and I feel it and I experience it. And I contact the depths of compassion. And I realize that the original action, as narcissistic or as sick as that person may be, or that situation may be, or as I may be, that's caused that stress, that anxiety, that fear, that pain, that jealousy, that anger inside of this. As much as it may be narcissistic and sick, I both go below the storm into the depths of the compassion, and that will raise my vibration above the storm. So I see that this action, it's an error. It's a lost soul, be it myself or someone else. And that compassion will not have that reactive need to both torture myself with what it is I'm feeling, going through as a reaction, or to get back at revenge, blame, or whatever those things are. What it will do is it will understand and try to, and not try to, it will bring that, at least for the self, bring that to the heart of the self, the healing self and the love. That doesn't mean that sometimes we don't do things that appear violent. We don't do them with violence. If someone attacks you with a weapon, you may have to be violent about it to defend yourself. But there's two ways to do it. There's a reactive way that involves a pile of, and then there's a thing called Aikido. It's a great story. There was a young fellow, Aikido, I means love in Chinese. Ki, I think, means chi in Japanese or something. I think that's what it's referring to. I think it's chi. So it's love, energy. Chi is the energy of life. And do means the way. We talked about the way, Tao. So a few things. So Aikido, it's a martial art. It's the way of love, okay? The way of the energy of love, the life energy of love. So there was a guy that was studying this. And Aikido is all about gently using the dysfunction of your opponent to just disarm him or her and cause no harm, but to diffuse the situation. So, but it involves also, there's also kicking ass, right? There's things where you throw and there's stuff going like that. So there's a young fellow. This young fellow told a story. I don't know where I heard it. I think Ramdas, who's died, told this story. I think. Young fellow studying Aikido for years and years. He's a Western fellow studying in Asia, I think in Japan or something. And he's been studying for years, and he's young, right? So he's full of sap. And he gets on a subway or on a train or whatever it is. It was a few years ago, and he gets on and this big drunk working guy, kind of rough looking clothes, but big strong guy gets on, and he's drunk and he's abusing people and he's abusive. And so the young guy who's been studying Aikido, the young Western fellow, he's like, okay, he's getting ready. He's gonna kick some ass. He's gonna defend. He's gonna do the way of love energy, right? He's gonna do the way of love energy, and he's gonna go in there and he's gonna use his love energy to defend the women and the children and the weaker men. And so he's getting ready to kick some ass because the drunk guy is getting out of hand. It's looking like he's going to really hurt someone. At that point, the guy's just about to engage and start kicking ass, start fighting using the way of love energy that this martial art that he's learned to defend in a loving way, right? So he's just about to do this. The situation is calling for him to do this. This big, strong, working guy, drunk guy is about to hurt people. And he's just about to do something. And this old fellow sitting there with his wife, very quiet fellow, says, "Hey," to the drunk guy. "Hey, you, come here." And the drunk guy comes and goes, "What? What are you talking about?" And the little old fellow says, "You had a hard day, huh?" The guy goes, "What? What do you mean?" The drunk guy, right? Now the Western fellow, the Aikido guy who's ready to kick ass, is watching this happen. He was going to get involved and start fighting. But the little fellow, old fellow, calls the guy over and says, "Hey, come here." And the guy's going to fight. And the guy says, "You had a hard day, huh?" He goes, yeah, I had a hard day. But why are you asking me that? He goes, "No, and the old guy goes, "I had hard days too. I know. It's like sometimes life hands you like a bunch of hard difficulties. Like, I don't know, sometimes you lose your job." The guy goes, "How'd you know I lost my job?" He said, I didn't know you lost your job. I just saying I've had hard times too." And then the working guy goes, "Yeah, I'm having a really hard time. You don't know half of it." And the old guy goes, "Yeah, maybe I know more than you think. I've had a long life. I've had a lot of troubles and a lot of difficulties." And then the drunk guy goes, "Well, yeah, my wife left me and now I have no one." And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. This is my wife here. We've been together 40 years, but we had a lot of hard times. I understand what it's like to lose someone you love. That happens to all of us." And so the old guy talks to this drunk guy, and the drunk guy eventually just melts down into a puddle of pain, and he starts crying, and he puts his head on the lap of the old guy, and the old guy's just stroking his head, and the drunk guy's just crying. And that is Aikido. That's the love energy way, not kicking the guy's ass. And the young guy who'd been studying Aikido had a lesson. He realized that this old guy was practicing the true way of love energy, not the getting your kung fu together and beating the guy up to defend the innocent like a movie. That was his young ego self, his young, strong ego male thing that he wanted to do. And he learned from this old guy that the way of love energy is to just see and contact the humanity, the compassion. So there's a right way and a wrong way. The way of compassion, when we're in this thing that's going like this, and something strikes us and we have a problem. Yes, I love you too. When we have these reactions and these stresses, and I feel, for example, an anger and a desire to strike out, let me contact the ocean and the depths of compassion underneath this seemingly all-encompassing situation, and see that in context there is a sickness and a pain and a suffering in the person that hurt me, that I think hurt me, or that I think made me angry. Of course, my anger is my own reaction, but the whole thing calls for compassion for that person, for myself. Let me sink into the depths of compassion. There is an ocean of compassion underneath every action, reaction, and thing that happens on the surface. And sometimes, yes, we will do things that seem violent, but if we do them with compassion, they will not be violent anymore. The ocean of compassion, the depths of this healing energy, are my heart. And when I touch my heart, I touch your chest. When I speak these words, they come from your mouth. They come from your heart. They touch my ears from your mouth, from your heart. There is only one heart. Let's not be lost in the details of everyday thing where there's some guy on the internet and someone sitting in one room in another house and this and my ears and your voice and this. Let's let that go. That blocks receptivity. That blocks the connection that is the healing. Right now, there is only healing. And this healing, this compassion, this space is mine. The ears that hear this, because this is coming from my heart, the ears that hear this are connected to the heart that's generating this. And the mouth that's speaking this is just one mouth of a million mouths. It doesn't matter whose mouth it comes out of. It's just the collective mouth. So, the collective mouth, hilarious. This is accessible to me at all times. There's only one master, and that master lives in my heart. My heart is the heart that is generating what it is that's coming into my ears. My heart lives in my chest, and in all chests, and between all chests, and between all vibrations. I have access to this at all times. At all times I have access to it. This is my master. My master, who am I? The me that's being mastered by this is the little detailed self, this little self. The master of this is the heart of love. And I can contact the heart of love and compassion at any time because it is mine. It is who I am. I am this. I am not this. This Anthony thing is this. But choose to identify with this whole body thing. And this little Anthony thing just disappears in the details of all of this. There's a lot of stuff going on. This is mine. This is the heart of my being, and I have access to this at all times. Someone asked me today what her mission was, and I told her that her mission is what all people's mission is. There's only one mission: to contact, reveal this that we just experienced more and more until we are so brilliantly emanating and receiving this great shining light of compassion and love that there is almost nothing else. And what it is we do with our lives flows naturally from the emanating being and reception of this energetic love, which is, it's not even healing, it's absolute perfection. It heals all that is. It heals all that is not aware of its perfection, because the only disease is a lack of awareness of perfection. Okay, so I have this. What it is that I'm doing with my life, I am listening. What it is that I, who am listening, as my birth responsibility. Did we just lose contact for a minute? Are we there? Can someone give me something to let me know we're there? Give me a like or something. Are we still together? Did we die? My camera just blinked off. I'm going to assume we're still together. Are we still together? Okay, we're still together. Thank you. I'm an adult. I have the capacity to bring this awareness, the responsibility of cultivating this flower that I am. And the only way to do it is to actually make time in my supposedly busy day for the only thing that matters. Because I will be a better father, a better mother, a better daughter, a better son, brother, sister, friend, citizen. I will just be better at everything else I'm doing. It's like exercise. People say, I don't have time to exercise. Well, exercise will make time because you'll be stronger, your energy will be there, and you'll have more time. This thing here, make time to do this for myself, the me that's hearing this, because that will create time. It will create a beauty that I don't have full access to now. But only I can take the time by myself to cultivate the stillness, the habit of contacting this. The unbelievable energetics of what it is that we've been sharing here is brilliant. There is just a divine, perfect space. And I have this, and I will take this with me, and I will cultivate this in my life, daily life. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, thanks, thank me, thank you, thank us, thank everything. Thankfulness. Gratitude for the unbelievable value that I am. The eye that speaks, the eye that hears, the heart that generates all of this, the one experience that is shared. Just thanks, thankfulness. And the heart of love that emanates, that shines, that is received. I receive all the love because I am all the love, and the reception is the transmission. There is only reception and transmission because being is reception and transmission. It is not the rules of everyday life. It is the rules of divinity, of sacredness, where giving love increases love, is love, receiving love. There is only love, compassion. Wednesday. Wednesday, it's feeling like we're going to have to talk about the power of the invisible. The power of the invisible. The power of the invisible world. What we've been talking about, compassion is invisible. We'll get there. Let's bring this into our everyday lives. Let's contact compassion when challenged with action, reaction, negativity, and fear in our everyday lives. Let's cultivate stillness. Remember the meditation practice. If we don't have one, 1 minute in the morning when we wake up, 1 minute at night before we sleep, just to be still. And if we have a practice, we expand it because it's the only thing that really nourishes those around us, if we care about them, is that which we are. If I think that I can fool those around us, maybe on the outside level, but on the energetic level, the truth is the truth, and I will be what I am, and I will nourish them to the extent that I've nourished myself. It's a transmission, it's a reception, it's one experience, it's a being from which all doing flows. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you on Wednesday.